Make some potato packets, and then we're going to make a wonderful, delicious little refreshing salad. So let's get started. I'm actually going to get started on the potatoes because they take longer to cook. As you know, anytime you're cooking, you want to get your grill hot, and then when it's hot, you want to go over it with, something to clean it. I like this little tool. I think it does a great job. Or you have the little ones here to get down in between. I've already cleaned my grill, so I don't need to clean it anymore. But we're going to get started on the potatoes. Now, I have here just some Yukon Gold potatoes and some rosemary that you don't have to add the rosemary if you don't want to, but I think rosemary goes wonderfully with potatoes. And this is fresh rosemary. If you don't have fresh rosemary, you can use dried, or you don't even need to put it in there if you don't have it. You could use just salt and pepper is fine. But I do grow herbs, so in the summer, will always have fresh rosemary. Love it. It's my favorite herb. Just slice it thin, chop it up pretty fine. And we're going to add it to our potato packets. This is one of those meals that's so simple, but yet so good. And I don't know about you, but in the summer, I want to lighten up my food a little bit, and I want to be outside. I don't want to be in the kitchen in the heat, turning on the oven and all that. It's too hot. So I tend to cook a lot outside, and I thought we would show you some of meals that I like to cook. Now, this is a newfound love of mine. It's by the company, the little mini dash waffle makers that so many of us use now to make our chaffles and things like that. Well, this is the same company. This thing is fabulous for, you can adjust for slicing anything. You can adjust the thickness back here on the back, but you just put your food in there. You got a little pusher, and you just chop, just like this. And look at that. You have got delicious, evenly sliced, in my case, potatoes. I have washed these. I'm leaving the peel on them. You can peel them if you want. I'm using Yukon Gold, but you can use any kind of potato that you want to. But this little tool is great, and I just love it for quick slicing. And it makes it even. Your potato slices all are the same size, so therefore they're going to cook much more evenly. I'm going to do a couple more, and then I think that'll be plenty. Let me show you. Let me turn it around so you can see how I'm a lefty, so I'm backwards on my thing, but that's okay. We'll get it. But this is so easy. Love this tool. Love it, love it, love it. This comes down. This comes off for easy storing. It's a great, great addition to your kitchen if you do a lot of slicing. It does anything. Potatoes, carrots, onions, whatever. It'll do it. I took my little bench scraper. I didn't bring it back out, so I'll use my knife to help me here. And you just want to put them in a bowl, because we're going to season them up with some salt and some freshly ground pepper. I'm going to add a little bit. I didn't bring out, I'll just use canola oil, vegetable oil. You will also need 4 sheets of foil. For this one, I like the non-stick. Stir that, just mix it together. Make sure you got plenty of oil in there, because you don't want these to burn on the grill. I think that'll be good. And then in each packet, I'm going to add just a pat of butter. My butter is soft, where it's been out here in this heat. It's beautiful out here today. You're liable to hear some birds, maybe a dog or two. You might even see a deer walking back there. You never know what you're going to see. And then just crimp it up and go on to the next one. Don't fill them too full, or they take a long time to cook. So Just put you a little pat of butter. Fold them down, roll them over. The steam will help to cook them. And then what I do is just pat the back, and then the remainder of the potatoes will go on this last one. And a little bit of butter. And we'll get them on the grill. Now, everybody's grill is different. Mine is a gas grill. Let me wipe my hands off. It has a hot spot. We all know, if you've cooked on a grill or even on your stove or your oven, you know it has a hot spot. My hot spot's right there. I don't want these on that. I'm going to put them over here where it's a tiny bit cooler. And I'm going to let them go. I'm going to rotate them out here as I need to. And we will get started on our burgers. Now, for this burger, I'm going to use ground chuck because I think ground chuck makes the best hamburger. The very, very lean, like 93.7 ground beef, honestly, it just, on a burger, it dries up to a hockey puck, and that's not what we want. We want flavor. We want delicious flavor. To my ground chuck, I'm going to add some bacon. This is 4 slices of bacon that I'm going to mince up. It got a little warm on me out here, so I have to cut it up. It's a little easier to cut if it's a little colder, but that's all right. Sprinkle it evenly over your burgers or your meat. Listen to those birds. Can you hear those birds? It just sounds so beautiful. Okay. Oh, I love that sound. To that, I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder and a little bit of onion powder. Just a little bit, about a teaspoon or so each. Some salt and some pepper, freshly ground. I never use the pre-ground stuff. Sometimes I will, and I've shown you this on a previous program, where I will, you know, take a spice mill and grind up enough to last me a few days, but never pre-ground stuff. There's a world of difference. And then for a little zing, just a couple of tablespoons of a coarse mustard, whatever kind you like. Or if you don't have that, leave it out. But it's really good in this. Lightly mix these. Okay, you don't want to over-mix your burgers. And then we're just going to form them into patties. All right, I'm just going to keep forming these, and when I come back, we're going to get them on the grill, and I'm going to show you a couple little hints to keep those flare-ups down. I'll be back in just a minute. Alrighty, now, all I did was form our patties. I made 4. I went and washed my hands, so I'm putting on gloves for this next part. Now, your grill will need to be either oiled or, I gotta confess, I spray mine with this. It's dangerous, I wouldn't let my kids do it. But you just stand back and do light little spurts. Or you can turn your flame off and then do it. Whatever works for you will work. Then take your burgers and put them on there. Now you got to remember, we have got bacon in this. And what does bacon have? Bacon has fat. What does fat do over a flame? It flares up. So I strongly advise you to have a water bottle nearby with some water in it so that if you get those flare-ups, you can, douse them with a little water to get them down. I've got my heat on between high and low, kind of more toward the low. My grill doesn't have a medium setting, so I just kind of go, about halfway through there. I also have rotated my potatoes. You will want to do that ever so often because you'll want to put the ones in the front, in the back, and just rotate them out because it's all going to cook unevenly if you just don't rotate. So I do rotate them out. Your grill may be differently, but mine needs a little bit of help there. So we've got those going. I want to let them go for just a couple of minutes, and then we will rotate them out. I need a drink here. Hang on. All right. Now, we're going to make a little bit of a side dish to go with this. When it's hot, I don't want anything real heavy. That's as heavy as I want to go as a burger. I like slaws and salads and things like that with my summer meals, or as my summer meal, to be honest with you. I'm going to get started on the dressing first. Now, I have here just some olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. I've got a couple of oranges. If you don't have fresh oranges, you can use orange juice, but we're going to get the juice at least out of one. We'll see how juicy it is. All righty, so we're going to zest our, you know what? Let's check our burgers because I'm getting some smoke here. Woo! All right, let's flip them. Woo! That smoke. Smoke gets in your eyes. All righty, back to our lemons. We're going to zest one of the lemons. All right. Just the yellow part. Don't get the white part. And I did clean my knife. I know somebody's going to say, she cut the bacon with that. I did, but I also cleaned it. All right. We've got some lemon juice. Just need the zest from one. Woo! Smoke is going. Let's check it. Yeah, okay, let's get that. Check our grill. You can't walk away from a grill. All right, I got some flare-ups. Woo! So let me show you what to do. If you just go down under there and spray them, you'll kind of douse the flames a little bit. And then we're gonna, I don't have a juicer big enough for my orange, so I'm just gonna squeeze it with my hands. This is a seedless one, so I don't have to worry about seeds. My camera people are getting smoke in their eyes. Happened to be my sons. I'm sorry. But it'll taste good. All right, I think that's probably enough juice. I'll save that one to eat. Okay. Now we need some salt and some pepper and a whisk or a fork. Stir that together. And then we're going to make our salad. We're going to use just two simple ingredients, carrots and celery. We're going to julienne them. This is a favorite little tool of mine. Looks like a peeler, but it's not. it will julienne. You see what it's doing? It's creating little shreds. Just lay your celery or carrot or whatever down, and it just makes perfect little shreds. See? Great. This is a great, if you want to make zucchini noodles and you don't have one of the spiralizers, this is a great little tool to have. Just a couple bucks. Great little tool. If you have a julienne attachment for your food processor, you can always do it like that too. But we're just going to, and the pieces that you don't use, just save and use them for a snack. Or cut them up, put them in a soup or something like that. You can also do this by hand. If you don't have one of these, I guess I need to show you how to do it by hand too. All right, let me show you real quick how to do this by hand. If you don't have a julienne, if you don't like the longer strands, just cut them in thirds. If you don't have one of those little tools, then you could take your celery and just take a very sharp knife and cut it into smaller pieces. Okay? Or your carrot. Just cut it, because this is round, cut one of your flat sides, so you're working with the flat side safer, and then cut little planks. Watch your fingers, tuck your fingers back under, and then lay your little planks on top of each other, or you can do them like that. Bend your fingers under, and then cut them into strips, just like that. Either way. It's a lot easier if you have the little mandolin. I'm going to flip these burgers, finish chopping this. When I come back, we're going to check on our potatoes, finish up our slaw, and we will make these Reuben burgers. I'll be back in just a minute. All right, now in this bowl we've got our carrots and our celery, and feel free to add anything else you want to that. And we're going to just stir our dressing again and pour that over there. Now this is great made ahead, just maybe even up to like a day ahead would be fine. And just take your tongs, mix it together, and give those flavors a chance to marinate. It's delicious and very, very, very refreshing. And if you don't want to cut your vegetables into the julienne shape, you can slice them really thin. You can do whatever you want. We're just going to let that set. Now, traditionally, a Reuben sandwich is served over rye bread, Jewish rye bread. Oh, I love it. It's so good. I prefer the seeded kind. The seeded means it has caraway seed in it. You can get it seedless or seeded. You can do whatever you want. If you want to do it on pumpernickel, you could get the dark pumpernickel. Whatever kind of bread you want. Traditionally, it is served on Jewish rye bread. You could also do it over hamburger buns if you wanted to. And if you wanted to get the flavor of the caraway, you could put the caraway in your hamburger mixture. I've got some butter that I'm putting on my bread. Burgers are done. Just gonna put my bread on the grill. Turn it back on here for a second. And I'm gonna toast the other, or butter the other side. What that does is help it to toast and get a little golden. You don't have to do that, but you know, I don't have a grill press out here like we make the paninis with the corned beef and all of that. We don't have that out here, so we're just gonna make do with our grill. We're gonna toast up our bread. Give it just a minute. I have rotated my potatoes a couple times. Let go for just a second. Now, traditionally, a Reuben sandwich is served with Thousand Island dressing. You can make your own if you want. For ease of time and simpleness. And I didn't think ahead. Camera operator. Guest error here. I should have opened that ahead of time. And sauerkraut. Now, sauerkraut's one of my favorite ingredients, so the more sauerkraut you got on my sandwich, the better. You will need to drain it. I mean, it does come with liquid, so I'm just going to drain it. And I got a trash can back here, just a little bit. I don't want my sandwich soggy. You could, if you had a flat griddle or a skillet, you could totally brown up your sauerkraut if you wanted to. But I don't, so I won't. Let me throw that away. Let's check our bread. Oh, yes. See what it does? It just makes beautiful little golden grill marks. Give that just a second. Get our plate ready to go. I have some Swiss cheese, just sliced Swiss cheese. You could use, I mean, traditionally Reuben has Swiss, but you could use provolone if you wanted to, or Gruyere, or whatever kind of cheese you want. I do want it to melt just a little bit, so I am going to go ahead and put my cheese on my bread to let it kind of melt. Makes it extra gooey. I don't have one of those things that you put over. I get one of those, so I just have to shut the lid down. Alrighty, let's put some of our slaw on our plate. And we cannot forget our potatoes. Remember those beautiful potatoes that we made? You get one of those packs off of here. Turn that off. Get my bread. Yeah, look at that. Oh, look at this. That's what putting it on the grill does. Makes it just golden and beautiful and good. That's done. All right, let's get this out. Let's build our burger. Now my hamburger meat, before I started grilling, got a little too warm out here in the sun while we were waiting. So it's kind of falling apart a little bit, but that's okay. It still tastes wonderful. It's better if it's hot. I mean cold, ice cold. I'm gonna add just let's put a little bit of our Thousand Island dressing on there. As much or as little as you want. And our wonderful sauerkraut. Did you ever think of making a burger into a Reuben? Again, Reuben's my favorite sandwich. And that's how I like mine. I don't actually even put the dressing on mine. I just like a lot of sauerkraut and a lot of cheese. And then our wonderful potatoes. And let's open this packet. Please be careful when you're opening this. You got to remember this is full of steam. Oh, yum. Look at these beautiful potatoes. Put them on your plate. Delicious. Yummy, yummy, summertime, quick and easy dinner. I mean, you could do that any day of the week. It would just take a few minutes. You know, cooking on a grill is easy, and it's so much faster than cooking in your kitchen on your stove. And I'm just telling you, there's something about cooking outside that makes everything taste better. I don't know what it is. Of course, you know, if you're grilling, it adds that flavor to it. You could cook this meal on a gas grill like I did. You could do it on a charcoal grill. You could do it on the flat top grill, which I do have one. And we'll do another program another day using my flat top griddle. That was a gift from my son's couple of Christmases ago, and I'm telling you, I love cooking on that flat top griddle. You make the best smashed burger that gets crispy and crunchy. It's delicious. So we'll do that another day. But here you go, a very quick and easy meal that you could make any day of the week for your family from start to finish. Honestly, 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes maybe tops. And you're done. You could totally prep your potato packets ahead of time, your slaw. You could even make a day ahead of time, or salad. Your sandwich just takes a few minutes to grill your burgers. You could even make that on an indoor grill if you have one of those. So here you go, a Reuben burger, some little potato packets with some fresh rosemary, and then a wonderful celery and carrot salad that you can serve alongside. It's just meant to refresh and crisp up and lighten up your meal. From my family to yours, happy cooking. Get outside, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the fresh air, have a picnic. I would serve that along for dessert, maybe a good crisp watermelon. You could even throw the watermelon slices on your grill and kind of grill it up just for a few seconds, maybe if you wanted to, or not. Serve it maybe with some feta cheese if you wanted to. It's delicious that way, or it's delicious on its own. Thank you for joining with me, and I will see you next time on Everyday Manna.